What's up, y'all? Oh, I gotta turn this damn light on. Shit. Y'all see me better now? Shit, do I even feel like being on light? Yeah, I might as well put the light on. I'm here on camera. I'm high right now, so I don't want that light. Ugh. Anyway, what's up, y'all? Exploiting blackness is the topic today. And this isn't a personal jab at either one of these guys, Kanye nor Charleston. I don't know either one of them. And at the end of the day, people do what they got to do. And I'm not here to judge. But what I am here to do is just point out what we're looking at here. I see a lot of similarities between Kanye West and Charleston White and how they move. And y'all know on this channel, these are two people that we follow, we talk about, because they say things worth talking about. You know, sometimes worth giving another opinion on. Again, nothing personal against neither one of these brothers. You know, but they be saying some bullshit, and we know it. And their bullshit is tied to blackness. It's like we are all these things. But when somebody says something, you know, to say, hey, I ain't with that. I got more money than you. And there are these people out there, we've seen a lot of this in black society, you know, really over the last, since the late 90s into the 2000s, the hoes and clothes era of hip hop. We've seen where people talk about it's my money. I got more money than you. I got more money than you. So for that reason, I'm better than you. And you can't tell me anything. Only for us to at some point see a lot of these black people, money leave them at some point, you know, or part ways, or something happens to them to where their money doesn't matter. And we see it over and over and over and over again. So I want to talk about it. You know, we're gonna break down the Charleston White snitching, and then I want to break down some tweets that Kanye put up. I'm gonna start with Kanye. Now the 86, I appreciate the 100 from SEK. I don't know what a SEK is, but I appreciate it, whatever it is. You dig? Anyway, what's up, chat room? What's up, everybody up in here? I hope you got your intellectual power. Keep your mind sharp. Because here at this channel, we think over here. We think over here. We think over here. We think over here. I don't accept the doctrine of somebody saying something I don't like. You're hating. We don't do that. We don't do simple, lame brain, surface level, nothing. We think in depth. And it's on you to choose whether you agree or disagree. And if you like what it is you like it. Ain't gonna hear nothing from me. But one thing we will not do is people running around telling us not to think. And fuck this light, man. I'm not keeping this light on. Y'all gonna see me in the dark today. I'm gonna be a motherfucking shadow figure today. That light was too goddamn much. I smoked way too much weed this morning for that light to be shining in my eye right now. So y'all just gonna have to take it. But what's up, everybody in the chat? I appreciate y'all for joining. Twitter, YouTube. Make sure y'all hit the like button, please. We are under serious shadow ban here on YouTube. We are under serious shadow ban. I told you ever since I put that video about ever since I went over, I interviewed over on Jaguar Rice channel. And me, her, and Dr. Randy Short, YouTube came back over to my channel like, hey, snap. And yeah, so that's what we're dealing with over here. That's what we're dealing with. I'm on my home page and I do not see myself live. That's funny. Okay. Let's see if I type my name in. Okay. and it says I have 21 people watching. I'm not bullshitting y'all. Look, this shit say I got 21 people watching. Do I got 21 people watching? Hell, I got 41 likes. How in the hell do I have 21 people watching? That's how you know YouTube be on that bullshit. So make sure y'all share. Because it's certain channels I watch out there, like, because sometimes I'll be halfway believing people when they say they on the shadow ban. And I know one channel that I watch, not religiously, but fairly often, Casino for Life. I like his channel. And I know the last few months, like I've had to, and there's been shit going on. Like I want to see what Casino think about it. I gotta type that dude's name in. Like it should never come up on my feed. And I watch his channel probably about twice a week, 2 or 3 times a week for something, you know? But that nigga channel never come up. And he be putting up like 17 videos a day. But that's why we know YouTube do. Yeah, I like Cino's channel, man. But yeah, I watch the channel like 2 or 3 times a week. So it should always, his videos should always come up when it's something. And so when certain things happen, like when Kendrick dropped that album, I had to type in his name. Like, I wonder what Cino think about this. You know? But yeah, nah, his shit ain't never gonna come up in my feed. Never. Yeah, please hit the like button on the way here. But let's go into Kanye West first, and then we'll get into the Charleston White thingamajig, a diggity dig. Kanye is back on his black shit, all right? And I notice Kanye always, he likes to gaslight us, and he likes to gaslight other groups, Jews, whatever. And then when he's done gaslighting, he wants to come back and play the black victim card. And I don't like that. Being black is not to be black is to not be a victim. We are, of course, victims of white supremacy, but regardless of that, we make it happen. We make it do what it do. Oftentimes, like Kanye. Kanye make it happen. He makes it do what it do. And when he's winning, you know, he gives black people his ass to kiss. But when he's losing, black is everything. You see the difference? When Kanye is up and he's winning, he's rich. You can't say nothing to him. He gives us his ass to kiss. But when they come after him, it's black, black, black. I'm black, I'm black, I'm black, I'm black. And that's the issue when it comes to somebody like a Kanye West. That's the issue. You dig what I'm saying? So let me, hold on. Let me, there we go. There we go. So y'all see what I'm saying? So let's go into it. This is the tweet that got me. He deleted this tweet, but page 6, the website, saved it. He's talking about all the rights, all of his parental rights have been taken from him by the Kardashians. He says, all these rights have been taken from me by the Kardashian mob, Hulu, Disney, and the bigger agenda to use the selectively bred black children to be platforms to influence to black people. And when I saw this, is Kanye right? Yeah. He's most definitely right. He's not lying when he says this. There is an agenda against black people and using black folks as influence. But here's the issue, Kanye, and this is something I want to say to all black people. This goes to all black people. You married the white girl. Something you warned against in your own music, Kanye Z. Let's play some music. Let's come to church. Let's have some church this morning. Let's have some church. About when niggas get ahead, they end up getting with a white girl. Ain't that what you said? So that tells me, like, when you talked about what you talked about on college graduation, on late registration, on those two albums in particular, we all know you know what time it is. But you still chose to get with the white girl. You still chose to get with her. When you choose to get with the thing you know America has a thing against, you can no longer play victim. You can't do that. You made a choice. And this goes to all black people. I'm not against people marrying whoever they want to marry. I'm not for it. I'm not against it. It's hard enough keeping my own goddamn marriage alive to be worried about yours. So I'm not one of those going to be for nor against. I don't mind other people's business like that when it comes to who they decide to lay with. But when you decide to lay with certain people, you got to take what comes with it. You decide to get with a hood rat, then don't be mad when you ducking bullets, trying to pick her up and show up to her front door with a dozen roses, and you know she done fucked with every nigga in the hood. Don't complain when the motherfuckers start. I remember this happened to me one time. I learned that when I was a kid. Not when I was a kid. I was like 18. I was like 18 or 19. I just got my car. I was with this chick. I met this chick when I worked at the bank. Ghetto as hell, but she had a big ass. Nice, round, plump booty, too. So, I did what I had to do to get at her, right? She lived over in Inglewood. This is back in 2001, 2000 Inglewood, when the shit was cracking over off Hyde Park. If you know Hyde Park and Centinela, 2001, press the number 1 and holler if you hear me. So I went over there, being a good kid from View Park in the Crenshaw district, ghetto in the Crenshaw district, but not quite as ghetto as Hyde Park. You know, then at View Park, not ghetto at all. And I show up, I pick her up, she get in the car, we get to La Brea, and as soon as I get to La Brea, a car pull up, she like, oh no, that's my boyfriend. I was like, you got a boyfriend? Nigga, we took off, pop, pop, pop. I dip, and I got away. And I dropped her ghetto ass back off. And I got back to my safe neighborhood. And you know what I realized? That's my fault. I knew this was a hood chick. I mean, she the chick that Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg wrote about. I knew it. The fuck is my square ass doing over here on Hyde Park in Centinela, picking this chick up at 11:30 at night, knowing good and the hell well the whole hood probably done ran through her. And them hood niggas be jealous as hell, especially if they see a square nigga like me coming. And I knew then, hey, you gots to watch who you fucking with. You gotta watch. That's just the way the shit work. We ain't talking about Inglewood now. We talking about 2001 Inglewood. Lakers back-to-back championships. Inglewood. Off Hyde Park. You know Hyde Park, Plymouth. That little pocket right there where the apartments are. Shit. Now it's right down the street from where they film what's that Issa Rae show. Like, hell nah. Nah, C Diggs, never a goofy, but not a hood nigga. See, that's the thing in Black America too. There's a big difference between goofies and non-hood niggas. Because a lot of hood niggas are goofy too. We know this by a lot of these beefs happening in hoods, in between hoods, from one nigga, from the same shit, by the way. A lot of your street beef happened over somebody fucking the wrong nigga's girl. It wasn't over the news to say, oh, look at these, there's a gang war. Nah, somebody fucked the wrong chick. Them is just the rules. I wasn't goofy, but we all gotta learn and get through it. I know, like, yeah. And what the fuck I look like with a hood chick anyway? I'm in college at the time, working at the bank. That's something that them goofy ass African niggas do. I know there's one dude that blocked me from Facebook. It was an African dude. He's like a millionaire tech dude. Makes a lot of money. Raised in Ladera. He got mad at me because this dumbass got a job, finally started making money, and the first thing he did was nutted up in the hood chick and had a baby by her. And all he did was get on Facebook every day and talk about black women. He's like a Nigerian dude. All he did was talk about black women, black women, black women, black women. No, your goofy ass nutted raw into the hood chick. Nigga, that's all that was. She saw a mark and got it. Now, I've seen plenty of hood chicks that saw me as a mark because they thinking same mistake a lot of people make. Since I'm not from a gang, since I'm not street, since I'm not hood, they just saw me as a mark, and they found out real fast that I wasn't. Real fast. You're not gonna play me, Ebony. But I was 19, you know? I was 19. When you're 19, you live and you learn. Some of you niggas are still making these mistakes in your 40s. That's the problem. I learned at the age of 19, hey, just because you can hit don't mean you should. You dig? My dad used to always tell me. My dad's wisdom. My dad say they all got holes. They all just move a little bit differently. Don't fuck your life up over a hole. Find one that rock with you, and you good. Now listen to my father. You know? So that goes into Kanye West. Kanye, you married. Not only did you marry the non-black girl, you married the jump off. Everybody in the league was jumping off that. I mean, Kanye got with her after she was married to Chris Humphries, married to some other nigga before that, after she done fucked Ray J on film, and that nigga corny. She got on by fucking a cornball on film. Remember Kim Kardashian was with that dude in the Middle East that before she got married to him, she was with some like Turkish, some Middle Eastern, Saudi, some guy that's close to her her ethnic identity. Y'all remember that? So on one hand, Kanye, you marry the rat. I used to run around. I used to be All-Star Weekend every year. I'm talking about like 05, 06, 07. And you would always see these Kardashian girls every year. You be at the NBA 2K party. Why the Kardashians here at the NBA 2K7 party? The fuck? It'd be the Madden tournament All-Star weekend. They come walking through like these girls. Like it was like these chicks is always around. I used to see them Kardashian chicks all the time. I used to see them all the time in my party years before and you knew what they were. You knew what they were. Not only were they non-black, they was pussy hustlers. All of them, allegedly. Their mom, the alleged pimp. Kris Kardashian is Heidi Fleiss with her own daughters. That's all. That's all Kris is. Kris Jenner, Kris Jenner, whatever her name is. Kris Jenner is Heidi Fleiss. Person number one, if y'all remember Heidi Fleiss from the 90s. That madam that was always on the news for trafficking women. That big ass story that happened in the 90s. Kris Jenner is just Heidi Fleiss with her own kids. And you married that. Now, you want to come back and use your blackness to say, look at what they're doing to my kids. You's a goofy ass nigga. I don't give a damn how much money you got. This shows you money cannot buy you, there's not enough money in the world to stop a lane from being a lane. C. Diggs said, I wonder if they're really witches from buying it. They probably are witches. That witchcraft shit is real. Don't get it twisted. That shit's real. They probably do know some stuff. I would not doubt it. I remember James Harden was with Khloe Kardashian, had the worst season of his career. Man, that nigga got rid of her, and the next year that nigga was MVP. See, the Kardashians those are trends that you see coming. It's not like Kanye was the guy who was the first to hit it. He's not the guy that brought him in and he met this pretty little Persian chick, married her, and then once he married her, found out that she was a tramp and down for the game. That's something different. That has happened to some people. But she was a tramp a decade before y'all got married. I mean, a TV tramp. We found her through Ray J. We found her through Ray J. And I used to run across her, and I used to run across Khloe a lot when Khloe was married to Lamar Odom. I ain't gonna lie. Khloe is the only one that I talked to. I met Kim, I met them all. Not just because they was looking at niggas I was with, not because of me. But Khloe, however, was somebody that I've had a few conversations with Khloe. And I ain't gonna lie, Khloe was cool as hell. When I was when I had season tickets to the Clippers, I think that was the 11-12 season. That was the year Lamar Odom was with the Clippers. I used to be I went to every home game that season, and we had friends and family room passes. And in that family room, Tamia was in it because that was Grant Hill's last year in the NBA. But Tamia would never come in the friends and family room. You had Tamia, what's her name? Gloria was still married to Matt Barnes at that time. So you had Tamia, Gloria, Jada, Chris Paul's wife. Khloe was in there, Khloe Kardashian, because she was married to Lamar Odom. And that year was so interesting that season, just to see the dynamic between all the women. And Khloe was cool as hell. But you knew that she was a fucking Kardashian. Sometimes we would look at Lamar Odom and be like, You know where this is going. I would look, Mike, I would not doubt she's OJ's baby. Because one thing I will say about Chloe, TV don't do her justice. Is she the prettiest woman? No. But she definitely looks a lot better in person than she does on TV. I will give her that. I will give Chloe that credit. She looks a lot better in person. At least, last time I saw Chloe was 2013. At least back then. I don't know how she looked now. All them goddamn surgeries that they be having. But she did look a little bit different. Her mass, her body mass was a lot different than the rest of the sisters. I will say that. I don't know if she's OJ's baby or not. But every time I see somebody say that, I be like, woo. I'm not going to touch that there because I don't know. This nigga said she's on her fourth face. But Kanye, you cannot play the I'm black, I'm a troll black people. I'm gonna talk shit to black people. I'm gonna go in front of black people and talk about how rich I am. You can't talk to me because of how rich I am. I'm rich. I'm rich. I'm rich. But then turn around. That's the thing. Kanye doing all this rich talk, but now you complaining about Disney? I thought you was rich. Why don't you appeal to your rich friends? Why is Kanye appealing to blackness when his answer to everything is I'm rich? Why not appeal to your richness? If $1 billion, and this is a serious question, Kanye, this goes to Kanye West and people like him. If your richness meant something, why can't your richness buy your way into being a father to your children like you want? See, this shows you right here how much money is worth. This man, and I commend him for this. I commend Kanye for this. The main thing this man wants is to raise his children. And that's admirable. That's a beautiful thing. But your money ain't letting it happen, homeboy. So how much is your money worth if it can't buy you the things that you desire the most? And that's a real question. If your money can't buy you the things you desire the most, what good is your money? So now, since he can't use his money to buy what he wants, he's coming back and talking about black. And he says things are right that are like this. This is how they see us. But one thing I'm tired of from people like Kanye, from Kanye West, is why the fuck do you care what they see? They're going to see what they want to see. Dr. Martin Luther King marched for peace in a nonviolent way, and they saw a violent criminal. So does it matter what the fuck they see? I'm tired of niggas, man. Look at this is what white people see. White saw the fuck what? They saw danger when they saw Malcolm X. Like they always see danger in us just minding our own fucking business. Black people be having a cookout, doing them goddamn. We could be having a cookout doing the cha-cha slide, and they'll see a war chant. Fuck what they see, nigga. Free your mind. Like what Parliament says, free your mind and your ass will follow. Which takes us to this right here. Talking about performative blackness. Charleston White. This dude's over here. This nigga's over here all on the internet talking about performative blackness, clout chasing blackness. He's the first one to go on Say Cheese or these other channels and say, what's wrong with black culture? What's wrong with black culture? What's wrong with the black community? I'll tell you what's wrong with the black community. One of the things wrong is people that went around in their teen years being violent and pulling the guns out and robbing people, shooting people in the back. And then coming out 20, 30 years later, trying to preach to the rest of the world what's wrong with the black community. Nah, nigga. How about you just talk about what's wrong with the people that come from your community and what's wrong with you and what was wrong with you and what got you in the situation you got in. But no, they don't do that. This is a sign of character right here. And I don't want to hear nobody talking about, well, Charleston White was only 16. Let me tell you something. Your character is built into you by the time you 8. Who you are in life, that's frozen in by the time you 8. By the time you get to your teen years, now you acting it out and figuring it out. People who decide to rob people and then turn around and say he did it, that's a character issue. Me personally, I believe in snitching. And you know why I believe in snitching? Because I'm not a fucking criminal. If I'm snitching, it's because you stole from me. Or I saw you if I see you breaking my neighbor's house and the police call me and be like, who broke in your neighbor's house? He did it. But if you decide to jump in on the crime, that's a whole nother thing. You said, yes, we gonna do this. See, this is somebody who wasn't raised right. My grandmother used to always say, if you're gonna commit a crime, commit it by your goddamn self. Don't ever go on nobody else's, into somebody else's crime. Because if their crime was good enough, they wouldn't include you. My grandmama used to always say that. If their crime was good enough, they won't call you to come play a part of it. They'll keep all the money themselves. You gonna commit a crime? Do it yourself. Because you got motherfuckers like this. Let's watch this, what we have right here is working.
I handed him the gun.
Can y'all hear that?
Out the backseat of the car.
16-year-old Charleston White took the...
I handed him the gun out the backseat of the car.
He said, I handed him the gun. He said, I handed him the gun. So you got in a car. You knew a gun was in that car. And you handed it to him. And this is another thing I always see. It was always little bad kids when it was parent-teacher conference day when time to go to court. You see the tie and the naturally picked fro?
I handed him the gun out the backseat of the car.
16-year-old Charleston White took the stand and testified against his friend, Antoine Doolittle, who sat just a few feet from him and listened intently.
He pulled it off, and the hammer back on the gun.
And then what happened?
He fired it.
Doolittle is accused of gunning down 34-year-old Michael Levy of Irving. Levy attempted to stop Doolittle, White, and 2 other teenagers accused of shoplifting 3 sports jackets and a baseball cap from an Arlington mall in September of 1991. Witnesses say Levy pounded on their windshield until the teens threw the jackets out the car window. Then Doolittle supposedly shot him in the back as Levy walked away. White repeated the conversation he says he had with Doolittle after the shooting.
I said, look, you shot him.
And what did he do?
Started laughing.
Levy had been married only 4 days when he was shot.
But I always had my dreams of my Prince Charming. I found him. And it's hard to believe, but I did. And I believe in fairy tales because he made my dreams come true. And they took that away.
White will be testifying against all 3 of his buddies in exchange for a maximum sentence of 12 years. A juvenile judge reduced the charge from capital murder to murder against Doolittle, so the teenager faces from 5 years to life in prison if he's found guilty.
I handed him the gun.
So y'all see that. Character issue. See, when I watch Charleston, he always talks about how he helped kill a white man. That ain't no stripe just because he white. How you hate somebody? Like, that's not a flex. That's not a flex. That is so not a flex. That's a family man. You don't get no stripes by killing somebody who's doing their job and being a part of that. And you the one going around talking about what's wrong with the black community? No, it's not a flex. Now, if a white man came like them dudes in Cincinnati that's going after them Klans members with the guns, that's a flex. Oh, shit. Hold on. Let me get Rocky out. Oh, Rocky. Yeah, he didn't kill a Klan member. He didn't kill someone that was aggressive. You were stealing. And Charleston White, when I listen to him, y'all say you from the suburb. Why are you from the suburbs and you stealing? Your parents got good jobs and you stealing? You stealing. Next one. You hand somebody a gun when somebody's walking away. Somebody was walking away and you shot him. Yeah, he said he was born and raised in the suburbs. Instead of being grateful and taking advantage of that, he chose to gravitate towards degeneracy in the hood. But he wants to project degeneracy on us. Exactly. That's why I say question the source. The people who are always talking bad about the black community and who are always talking shit about what's going on with black people, look at them. Think and go to intellectualpower.net. Go to intellectual, I'll turn the light on for this. Go to intellectualpower.net. This is that brain medicine right there, for me at least. Keeps them neural pathways woompty wamping and boomty bamping. Also go to Peace Pads. The links are both in the pin at the top of the chat and in the description. And this coming May 3rd, there's a reproductive health event in Compton with my brother Reza Islam. Make sure that you go in the description, click on it. It is a free event. RSVP now if you're in the Southern California area. I hope to see you there. No, I'm not speaking, but I'm sure I'll be there to support my brother's event. So make sure that you hit the description and you RSVP. All right? Let's pack it out. Let's support our brother Reza Islam. He's bringing some information on reproductive health. that we all need to understand and know. All right. And again, I appreciate all y'all for joining. And let me make it very clear. I'm just here to put a mirror up to people to see what's going on. I'm not here to say I'm perfect. I'm not here to say I'm the most pro-black and these people ain't as pro-black as me. Enough of that bullshit. I'm not here to have a dick swinging contest over who's more black than not. But when you have someone that goes on and that go viral for talking about everything wrong with the black community, this is who's talking. 16 years old is old enough to know that shooting somebody in the black is some hoe ass shit. I don't give a fuck. You know that at 16. You're not dumb. I was 16 once. You know, 16. You sharp enough to do that. You sharp enough to know that robbing a store is wrong. Now you might do it anyway because you want to make some money. You're in a circumstance, but Charleston White's not in that circumstance. According to you, again, you from the suburbs. And that was always the issue, man. People from the suburbs that would come in on the weekends thinking it's something because you saw menace to society. You saw Boys in the Hood and you think, well, Boys in the Hood was fairly accurate. But you saw menace to society and all these colors and all these hood parody films. I call them hood parody films because that's what they were. And you take that as a representation of all of us. But this is who you are in your character. You commit a crime and you can't stand on it.
Out the backseat of the car.
16-year-old Charleston White took the stand and testified against his friend, Antoine Doolittle, who sat just a few feet from him and listened intently.
He pulled off and the hammer back on the gun.
And then what happened?
He fired it.
Doolittle is accused of gunning down 34-year-old Michael Levy of
A security guard. I don't support that. I don't give a fuck if the security guard is white, Mexican, or any group. You don't kill people that's going to work doing their job. That right there, that's not a flex just because a person's white. That was a person doing his job. Just doing his job. That's not a flex. And that's nothing you don't want black people to get accustomed of. Well, you did it because at least they white. No. You're not. Just because you're born white don't mean that you're deserving of that kind of treatment. Especially when you stole. Yes, Star Child. Charleston White said he's the one that handed old boy the gun. Yes. Somebody said Daniel Penny's getting praised by the whole white community. Right. Do you want to, is that a flex? Is that a flex question. Is that a flex that you want to join in? You want to say, well, since they doing it. And you see what's happening to their community. It's dwindling in numbers. Just look around. The birth rates are fucked up. They got people coming into the country because they're not smart enough to maintain the systems that this country created. Look at what's going on over there. They get cancer when they walk outside. Is that something you want to imitate? If that's something you want to imitate, then that's cool. I'm not going to judge. I'm just asking the question. If that's what you want to imitate, then by all means, go ahead. I'm not going to tell you not to. But it ain't something I want to imitate. Just because they doing it, well, he did it, so I got nuts. I'm a man. I'm going to do what the fuck I see is right. Well, just because he did it. I appreciate the Cash App, Mini FBA. I appreciate the Cash Apps. Oh, yeah, James. I appreciate the Cash App, James. Latriva Lawson. I appreciate the Cash App. Y'all can donate right here, $DeWan B1 on Cash App. So yeah, they did celebrate Daniel Penny. Is that the example you want? These are the same people who overfished the oceans. These are the same people who damn near ran the buffalo extinct. The buffalo used to go from California to Florida. They try to talk as if the buffalo's only in the Midwest and the West. Nah, the buffalo used to go from California to Florida, roaming and shit, until they got here and would just sit on the porch and see a herd of buffalo and just pick them off. Get on trains when trains were expanding westward and sitting out in trains and just killing buffalo. That's cool. You following them? There's a big ass island the size of Texas of trash in the Pacific Ocean right now. Y'all heard about that? That great trash mass in the Pacific? Y'all heard about that? The Great Pacific Garbage Patch. Niggas don't get on cruises like that. Nigga, when we cruise, nigga, we doing the goddamn Tom Joyner cruise and then right back to living. We ain't on the high seas like this. These are the people who celebrate Daniel Penny right here. The people responsible for this Great Pacific Garbage Patch. Is that what you want to hear? Is that what you trying to imitate? Taj Dollars, chill. Chat room. Behave, chat room. This nigga said it's called Puerto Rico. Nigga, I love Puerto Rico. We just don't like what some of the people like Crazy Legs is doing. But we like Puerto Rico, bruh. Chill. We like Puerto Rico. We just don't fuck with Crazy Legs and Fat Joe and that bullshit that they trying. But when you say, well, they celebrate Daniel Penny, well, the people that celebrate Daniel Penny are at least 2/3 responsible for these garbage patches you see out here too. So watch what you excuse. Watch what you excuse. So this is Charleston White's response. Let's listen to his response.
You saw it. A nigga said, we saw the snitch video. So everybody saw it. It's been on the news before. Just because you saw it, you still broke.
Look at his body language.
It don't change nothing. You still broke. I'm still rich. I'm still getting booked. It don't change nothing.
Laugh ain't even
hit. It don't change nothing. We seen the snitch video.
You still broke. Let me start back from the beginning. First off, Charleston White, everybody talking about this video aren't broke. Everybody ain't broke that you talking about. Let's start off by that. There's a lot of people who disagree with what you did that ain't broke. So, but going back to what I was talking about with Kanye West, talking and using money as an excuse to be a degenerate. Money is not an excuse to be a degenerate.
So you said we saw the snitch video. So everybody saw it. It's been on the news before. Just because you saw it, you still broke. It don't change nothing. You still broke. I'm still rich. I'm still.
That's a straw argument. You broke, I'm rich. So, first off, you don't know that I'm broke. You don't know who's broke out here. Not me personally, but the people out there talking. It's a lot of broke people out there talking about it. It's a lot of people that got money talking about it. It's a lot of people that money is up and down. There's a lot of people who are experiencing low times who's talking about it. It's a lot of people who are experiencing high times that's talking about it.
Getting booked. It don't change nothing. Yeah, it don't change nothing. We seen the snitch video. So, everybody's seen it before you seen it. It used to be on the news. I keep telling y'all, I made the news before. All what y'all doing, people, I already seen. So what, you seen it? You think they gonna stop booking me? You think they gonna stop interviewing me? You think people gonna stop? No, nigga, you still gonna be poor, and I'm still gonna be rich and famous. It don't change nothing. We seen the snitch video. So, what? Yeah, nigga, I got a comedy show tomorrow night. We gonna laugh about it on stage. Yeah, that's part of the comedy show. He must be new over here. He must be new.
Another sign of a degenerate, somebody who throw their blunts out the window and littering like that. That's another degenerate, nigga. Keep her clean.
Well, yeah, we seen the snitch video. So, my response to everything. So, ain't nobody gonna do nothing. Yeah, man. So what? Why you think I told, nigga? I don't give a damn, nigga. I ain't friends with nobody.
16-year-old Charleston White took the stand and testified against his friend, Antoine Doolittle, who sat just a few feet from him and listened intently.
He pulled off and the hammer back on the gun.
And then what happened?
He fired.
It's so delusional. My way here with you, now I'm with another bitch. Everything we are.
So there you have it. And he was the one that was talking shit about Kendrick. He's the one that had an issue with Kendrick trying to reunite the gangs in LA. And talking about gang culture. And that's the thing. And that's why I never got into that culture. I remember my cousin who was a cop a long time ago, back in the 80s. He was like, man, if you even think about, he's like, man, if you even think about this, if you even think about getting in that kind of lifestyle, he said, we don't know shit. We solve our problems because somebody in their own hood told us. That's what I heard from a cop. So I always knew that that's what people are. Not everybody in that environment. Not everybody, because I still got some cousins, boy. Woo. I got some cousins, boy. God forbid somebody try to do something to me. But so when we see what we're talking about here, you're getting somebody, gang life aside, all that bullshit aside, you signed up for some bullshit. You sign up and you follow through and you execute the bullshit. Character is, we got in this thing together, we going down together. The same way if we win and we get what we want, we gonna divvy up the proceeds from whatever happened and we gonna roll with it. So that's what I have to say about people pimping their blackness and using blackness. Charleston White is somebody who uses this platform to chastise blackness while behaving like that. And again, I'm not against snitching at all. I'm not against, because it's not snitching. If a civilian, hold on, let me back up. It's not snitching. I am against snitching. Snitching is if two people get together to cause a crime, to commit a crime, and one person tells. That's snitching. If you do something to a civilian, or if a civilian, I'm a civilian, certified civilian. I don't even say the B word or the C word here in LA. I got respect for the brothers who live that lifestyle. I got respect for them. So I'm not going to go around. I never have been that square nigga going around saying cuz like a lot of these niggas that went to my high school, Westchester, did. Nigga, why are you saying cuz, nigga? You live in Ladera Heights. Let the gang members gang bang, nigga. You got a good home. I ain't never said blood. I don't use them words. Them nerds. Now, if you're from Oakland, that's something else. But in LA, you don't say them words unless you about it. And I'm not about it at all. But if you come my way with it, Mr. Police Officer, you robbed my neighbor? You breaking my neighbor's car and I see it? Yes, Mr. Officer. He had on a tan shirt and some blue chucks and some red dickies. Whatever you was wearing, I'm telling the officer. Because I believe in law and order. I'm a true believer in law and order. I keep myself in order, and I don't break the law to take from somebody else. And so I don't think you should either. I'm a civilian, so I can't snitch. I ain't got nobody I went ahead and committed a crime with. Even when I was 16. Even when I was 16. I hated that, man. You get people who family move in from the people who just come to visit on the weekends, want to come in town, starting trouble, starting shit. Which takes me to my phone line. I want to know what y'all think. 323-744-7425. 323-744-7425. What do y'all think about what's going on here? When you get somebody like a Charleston White who can spend all day talking about hood activities and what's wrong with the hood, what's wrong with the hood, what's wrong with black folks. This is black culture. Black culture is this, black culture is that. What do y'all think? Because, like I said before, I take personal issue when people are always talking about black culture this and black culture that, when it's not black culture. You have hood culture, you have square culture, and I'm a square. Not a goofy, but a square. Most definitely a square. Because goofies come in squares, goofies come in hood, goofies come in gay, goofies come in straight. Goofies are goofy. And goofies are going to play a part in all different sectors of society. And one of the biggest misconceptions is being a square is being a goofy. Now, I'm going to tell you what being a square is. Being a square is being smart. Being a square is knowing that you don't have the advantage, knowing there's a system against you, and you still figuring out a way to make it through that system without capitulating to the pitfalls of that system. Press the number 1 if you were square. Shouts out to all the squares out there. Shouts out to all the squares. Press the number 1 if you were square like me. Where the squares at? Certified squares. Somebody said, Blexit said, I just hope Julio hasn't made his way to Black Baldwin Hills and View Park. What are you talking about? Mexicans stopped making their way west like 10 years ago. Catch up. We're in gentrification in Baldwin Hills. The same way every black neighborhood around America is under gentrification. It ain't Julio that's coming. It's Ching Ming and motherfucking Susan Bradley. It's white people and Asians gentrifying everything. We're catch up, black tip, catch up. Mexicans started making their way west a long fucking time ago. Catch up. What's the caller? What's his name? Where you calling from? Hello?
Hey, hello. Can you hear me? This
Okay,
is
here you now.
JD.
What's up, caller?
What's up? This is JD, man. Funky Town, man. I got to come back up there and see you, man.
My man JD from Fort Worth in this motherfucker, man. How
Yeah,
you doing,
man.
brother?
I wish you was my special ed teacher, man, but you would have to go way back in time. You have to be older than me. But man, yeah, man, you my new news channel though, man. And just want to say, you already know, man. Trying to come back up there one of these days and catch a nigga night.
Yes, sir.
It'll be worth the
I'm
flight.
glad you called in, Jay Jemison, because you Fort Worth. You Fort Worth.
Right.
You ain't in the suburb. You Fort Worth.
Yeah, man, in the middle of this shit.
So, I'm pretty sure I got a question to ask you, my brother.
Yes, sir.
You was around back in the 90s. How did you feel when you saw the suburban kids coming into Funky Town for the weekend trying to get into Funky Town business? How did that make you feel knowing that you couldn't leave the motherfucker? How was that?
Oh, man. I know. I see what your question's saying. But see, like, I was born in Austin, so I was one of those kids that could come to Fort Worth every, 4th of July. So, like, the neighborhood I was in, it was, 35% black, 35% white. Like, my pops was in the Air Force. So, but both of them are from Fort Worth, so I've been in and out of Fort Worth my whole life. But I seen it. I seen the difference, from how it used to be back then, all the way up to the day to where you got white folks jogging in the hood with their shirts off, to where it just looked weird. We be kind of laughing, but we 45. I'm 45 years old, so I seen a whole lot of stuff change. But the way it made me feel like, okay. Mm-hmm. America is real big on presentation.
Yeah,
and that's why I learned a lot of shit is presentation and not really what it is, and then it's damn near against the rules to talk about it, especially on TV.
Yeah.
To where just like I said, I was special ed, but then later on in my life when YouTube came out, that's when I got to get some of that real good straight laced game. I didn't know who the hell Dr. Khalid Muhammad was until I was over 27.
Yeah.
I didn't know who Marcus Garvey was. And my parents probably told me, but it went through one and after the other. I'm trying to go play domino rally or bury some G.I. Joes or some shit.
He said
Or
domino
hunt on
rally.
the chick up the street.
Yeah.
But now, just like you, that's why I listen to you so much, because the conversation that you bring up, it sparks thought that we wouldn't have had until we're in a situation where it's already too late to even think like that. And that's kind of fast forwards me to where, hell yeah, I nigga rig everything I do. They wonder how I be flying to California by myself. It's it took me late in life to find out how to get out there in a cheap way. Pack a sandwich on the plane, ride Spirit, pack one bag, spend all your big money on your hotel and your rental car for safety, so that way you get out there and get back. Then mainly get out there and show respect, read the room. You see how I didn't roast nobody out there. First off, I ain't good at roasting. And second off, hell, I didn't know who I would be roasting out there,
Yeah, man. So you
But
just
I had
know.
a damn good time.
Yeah, you just know from where you come from to find a way to get in where you fit in, and don't be going around trying to go someplace and dominate and get all up in their political business. Just chill, watch, learn, and keep pushing.
And man, I remember kind of when I was out there, that was around the time when I think T.K. Kirkland and Charleston White was getting into it.
Yeah.
And it was just cool, just being out there, because I watch y'all on the internet all the time. I'm a big fan. So just to actually be out there and see how cool it is, I had to go to L.A. for the first time in my life. I had the back door 3 times after that. So
yeah,
I got to go back out there after this fire. And I don't want to take away too much from the topic, because I'm over the second game.
Thanks for giving us a call, my brother.
Yeah, man. And one love, I make sure I shoot you a text when I'm coming out that way, just in case you're in town.
All right, man. You have a good one. One
love, big bro.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. It's just a thing. It's just a thing. I would see this, and I remember where I was born and raised. I didn't get the appeal. I did not get the appeal when I would go up to View Park and when I go up to Ladera Heights, and I would see brothers it was like this thing where they were just infatuated with street activity. And I'd be like, man, these brothers in the streets are doing that shit because they got to. The people I grew up around that was into that, when you looked at their situations, it was just kind of like, who am I to judge? These niggas was in some situations, and oftentimes the street dudes, not as if they was running to the streets. They was running towards acceptance and they were running towards love. Because oftentimes at home, that shit wasn't there. So they were going, I'm talking about the real ones that I knew and still know. They were running from something. They were running, not running from something, they were running towards something. That was of a greater benefit to them than where they were running, where they were coming from. Like I had this one kid that I work with. This kid, I ain't gonna lie, we probably talking about 10 years ago now. This kid was like 12. This kid was like 12, 11. And he used to have to sell candy. He used to get on from school get out at 2:30. The van would be at the house by 3. He had to be on the van by 3. And the van would take him out to either Hollywood Boulevard, the Walk of Fame, or over to Venice Beach in the summertime. And they would give him a bunch of candy to sell. And those be them kids selling like a $1 bar of candy for like $5 or something like that. And they would say it's for their football team or their baseball team or whatever they would make up. Well, I had a few of those. I had a couple of those candy kids that I was responsible for working. And I remember one kid kept getting into he was getting like he would go to sleep in class, and so going to sleep would lead him to detention. And he knew he couldn't stay for detention because he missed work. And one time he got in a fight, like he hit a teacher because he left school and then so he can get to the van on time. And I'm asking, what up? And then so I talked to him, and this kid was making $25 a week. He would sell candy from 3, and he would get home usually around about after 9 o'clock, close to 10. And this would be 4 days a week. This kid was 11. I had another one that would do this who was 8. I had an 8-year-old doing this too. That was a different kid. Because I've had a handful of these candy kids. But this one in particular, when I was 11, I was asking him why I told his mom, and his mom was like, yeah, I know he do it. And do you know why his mom allowed him to be going and selling that candy? It's because this 11-year-old had to buy his own underwear, his own socks, his own clothes, and his own school supplies. His mom wasn't giving him shit. He had to buy it. Kid was going to school with holes in his son. This kid, most 11-year-olds, if they are working, they spending their money on firecrackers and cap guns and fun shit. This nigga was spending his money on draws. Oh, and by the way, if his mom took him to school that week, he had to pay his mom gas money to take him to school. So he had a choice. Walk past a rival hood to get to Bret Hart Middle School. No, he went. That was later on. He got to Bret Hart the next year. The year before that, he's going to. I'm not going to name another school, but he had to basically go under the 110 freeway, from one side of the 110 freeway to the other side of the 110 freeway to get to school. So he had to decide: do I want to walk through rival territory to get to school, or do I want to pay my mom gas money to take me to school? And this is real life for this kid. This is real life. So who am I to tell this child that you shouldn't join a gang when I can't be there to protect this boy when he goes across that freeway? You see how that works? That's why I've never judged people like that who get into that lifestyle. Well, I used to judge. It's the reason why I stopped. Because who am I to say don't join a gang? I can't protect this kid every day going to school. I can pick him up once a week and take him to school because my job will allow me to do that. But he got to go to school and come home. So if he joins a gang, he's doing what he needs to do to get protected. And his mama's making him buy gas money when some of these older kids, they'll pick him up and put him in a car. Who am I to tell him what not to do? That's also why I say I don't criticize people who do bang. This is real life for a lot of people. Yeah, I often wonder how that kid is doing. I forgot his name. As I forgot most of my kids' names. y'all heard my stories plenty of times, my regulars. I have a great memory, but I do not remember most of them kids' names, nor do I want to. Because the couple of them kids that I do remember, I looked them up, and one of them was, he should be getting out this year. He got 9 years back in 2016. But that kid that got 9 years, he was another kid that joined the gang. Why? His mom had severe bipolar, and she didn't always take her medicine. And this kid, I remember I got him when he was like 11. He was 10. And his mom was having an episode. I had this kid, from 11 to 13, I had this kid. And he was running up. They had one of them houses where you go in the house, you go straight upstairs. Y'all know, like off like in the La Brea, Washington area. And as soon as he got to the top of the steps, his mom kicked him back down the steps. And was like, I told you to stay at that after school program. He came straight home. She wanted to do whatever she was doing. And instead of staying at the after school program, he came home. He walked home 10 years old. Boom! Kicked him back down the steps. Who did he call? Me. Crying. I'm thinking I'm off work that day. I come back home. I'm thinking I'm home for the day. I turn on goddamn Grand Theft Auto 4. I roll up a blunt thinking I'm about done. And this kid crying said his mama just kicked him back down the steps. And his mama do this shit when she be in her bipolar fits. So when he would leave, it was a gang in the area. One of the kids that was in the gang, they allowed him to sleep over at their house. Who am I to tell this kid not to bang when the people that's from the hood are the ones taking care of him? I get it. See, when you're not in it the way I used to be, it's easy to judge from the outside. It's very easy to judge from the outside. But then when you get in it and hear some of it and see some of these stories, you get it. And that was one of the kids that I did look up. I looked him up. I remembered his name. I still remember his name. I looked him up about 3 or 4 years ago, and said that he got 9 years back in 2016. And so hopefully he gets out and he's doing well when he gets out, you know. But this was my job every day. 3 to 5 clients a day. 15, 20 clients a week. This is just one of the stories, man. I got a lot more that I forgot. Thank God I forgot those stories. Or I wouldn't be able to laugh with you niggas today. I'd still be fucking depressed like I was when I had that goddamn job and didn't know it. So that's why I look at these clowns like Charleston White like, what's going on here? Where I come from, these people are dealing with some serious shit. Is this dude retarded? Dude, you said this shit like 15 times. First off, you're wrong, but stop typing the same shit. Chat room, if somebody typed the same thing 5 times, give them 5 minutes to think about it. Just give them 5 minutes. God damn, that shit annoying as fuck. Stop. Damn. They migrated this. He said there's a Charleston White in the chat, right? Like, dude, what's happening here? Calm down. Calm down. Chill. Chill. You got your attention now. Calm down. But yeah, so but that's what it is. But going back to them stories I was telling you, those children's stories isn't black culture. These are people who was passed down a particular poverty mindset, a particular mindset, and were raised in an environment where that's this particular family lineage's culture. They're thrown into a ghetto, into an environment that's resource depraved. You go to school, school's not giving you any viable options. School's not telling you who you are. They're not teaching you anything that you can do anything with as you grow. It's just babysitting you. I got another kid. He was in that same neighborhood. This kid's father had died when he was like 2. And he wouldn't listen in class. That's because the teacher wasn't shit. He listened. I get this kid listen to me all goddamn day. This kid, me and him, this nigga used to kick it. But his particular teacher was one teacher he wouldn't listen to. It was an Asian woman. And so one day in class, in front of everybody, he wasn't doing his work. That's because all he needed was just let him outside, let him run around, get it out. Let him get it out. Come back in, he'll be fine. He wouldn't do that. So he wouldn't do that. And it was actually in his IEP to get that done. I had actually gotten that put in his IEP. When I used to do IEPs, I would get all kind of crazy shit put in people's IEPs. Let's say the kid's name is Nathaniel. Allow Nathaniel 10 minutes before class to run and exert energy and allow him to enter class 10 minutes late, because the first 10 minutes, you're only taking roll. You're not doing anything anyway. Allow him his time in his IEP to run around. Come bring him in. He'll be fine. That was actually in his IEP. I put it in there. Teacher didn't listen to his IEP. Have him come and sit down. So in front of the whole class one day, is an Asian teacher. She said, and I'm using the name Nathaniel. That wasn't his real name. I'm still HIPAA. I'm still bound by HIPAA guidelines. And deeper than HIPAA guidelines, I'm bound by HIPAA is my version of no snitching. You don't tell what you do with these, you don't out these kids' names. So the teacher, Asian lady, in front of the whole class says, Nathaniel, I know that your dad's probably not at home because he probably left your mom. And I know that you're probably angry because your dad is no longer with your mom. But your anger because your father's no longer with your mom can't come and slow down the rest of the class. The rest of the class still needs to get their work done. And you cannot allow your anger towards your father not being at home to slow down the rest of the class. And my boy broke out crying in front of the class. Not only did this woman say that, she said that it happened to be on the death date of his father. The day his father was murdered, like that date. That particular date that his father was murdered. That's the kind of shit that black culture has to go through. being occupied in their own neighborhoods. This kid wasn't bust out to an Asian school district for that bitch to say that. He was going to the school down the street from his house, living in his environment, in his world. And this invader comes into his world and embarrasses him like that in front of the whole school. And you want to ask me why these kids aren't interested in school? This is life. And our black children, our black people are being exposed to this. They have to go through this. They didn't get to live in the suburbs like Charleston White and come in on the weekends and rob people and kill people just to come as an adult talking as if there's something wrong with black culture. We don't have this immense talent like a Kanye. Most people don't have a level of Kanye West talent. And the resources, his mother, who was a college professor, by the way, mother was a professor, so Kanye wasn't poor. They don't have the resources to get introduced, and to not only get introduced, but to have instruments and to have the time of the day to learn how to create beats, to get them out of this situation and marry a white girl voluntarily, then get mad when the white girl does white girl shit just to come back. Black, 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 blickety black. That's what I mean by exploiting blackness. Not to say that these brothers don't live a black story. Charleston White has gone through whatever he's had to go through and been a victim of white supremacy in whatever way. Same thing with Kanye West. They black, so they definitely are qualified to speak. What Neely Fuller says, VGQ, Victims Guaranteed Qualifications. So because of Neely Fuller and VGQ, they do have a voice to say what they have to say. But just like the First Amendment and freedom of speech don't mean freedom of consequences. When you say these type things about the black community and using the black community and exploiting it, there's a consequence on all of us. It gets these tethers and these non-black folks and these coon niggas a voice to say that kids going through what my kids that I had to work with went through, to say that they're crazy. That's black culture. No, it's not black culture. Nobody in my family had to go through no shit like that. I never heard of no shit like that till I got my job. But them is the ones that be in the streets. One of my cousins, rest in peace, that was his story. I'm not gonna say his name because I don't know how many bodies this nigga got, but I know he got plenty. But he's gone now. He died a couple years ago. But one of my cousins, he was known in a particular set that's very popular on the internet. He was very known in that set. And he was the one. He was the executioner. He was the executioner. But when I saw what he went, I remember his situation when he was a kid. I remember where the situations his mom had him when my grandmother would go looking for her daughter, aka his mom. And I remember seeing my cousin in these situations, living in these motels. You know, I remember what kind of woman his mom was, my aunt. I remember the things that she used to get herself into. And how I remember my dad's stories about even when they was kids, this particular aunt was always in that shit. And he ended up where he ended up. But when I saw his environment, I don't see what else he could have done. And then the way he went to jail, he literally, his first big charge, somebody had robbed a pizza place. ran through the projects where he lived. Out of all the shit this nigga did a lot of shit. Don't get me wrong. My cousin did a lot of shit. But when he was 16, somebody robbed a pizza parlor with a gun, ran through, cut, boom, 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 boom. Police dropped the pizza in front of where my cousin and all them was standing, kept running. When the police came through, they stopped and saw the pizza and got my cousin and was like, you did it. And this nigga did a lot of shit, but he didn't do that. But he ended up getting 10 years as a 16-year-old. 10 years. And he served 8 of those 10 years. Because it was like a deadly weapon, some kind of shit like that. And he served 8 of those 10 years at 16. And when he got out, he had to do what he had to do. But I remember what led up to that. Even though he didn't commit that crime, he did a whole lot of other shit. I can't judge him for how he ended up. These are stories I've seen time and time and time and time and time again. Only for these suburban niggas to come and fake the funk and then turn around and be like, that's what's wrong with black culture. It wasn't a black culture situation. My grandmother raised 2 kids who never had anything touching the law. One of them deviated. It wasn't a culture thing. She also raised my father. He was the most upstanding man of character that I know. It's not a culture thing. But these are the people who will pimp out black culture so they can be the ones shining. Oh, now I got something to sell you. See how it works? See how it works? We have a whole lot of shit that we're dealing with, and people going through situations that are victims of white supremacy, because white supremacy says we got to create these things called ghettos and push black people into those ghettos. Ghettos are created. We didn't create ghettos. Ghettos were created. Ghettos come from Europe. They've been around since the 1600s. Planned areas of deprivation. That when you plan an area of deprivation, you put 100 people in an environment that only has enough resources for 60 people. 10 of those 100, 5 of those 100 are going to turn violent. That's just what it is. That's human nature. People are born into these situations. Kids are born into these. They don't create these situations themselves. And it's high time that people stop. If you're not going to do anything to help fix it, the least we could do is stop exploiting it. Is that a lot to ask? Is that a lot to ask? Just don't exploit it. Have some respect. There's a lot of things to talk about. But exploiting it, man, that shit's over with, y'all. That shit's over with. Thank y'all for listening. I gotta take my drum set back. I had a cool gig last night on the drums, my boy Mike Robertson. I see y'all been calling. I got like 15 missed calls over here. My bad, y'all.
Hey, you call.
Oh, you
I'm
got
watching
through.
your
What's up,
calling
caller?
show.
You got through.
still
What's
on
the
air?
name where you calling from?
I'm calling from Yorktown, Virginia.
What's on your mind?
Oh, I wasn't sure because I thought the title said Charleston White, but I couldn't. I think my transmission is behind yours. It must be the internet. What topic are you on right now?
All right, y'all. Thank y'all again for listening. Please go ahead and if you miss any part that I'm missing, just catch the replay. I'm not about to catch everybody back up. No disrespect, caller, but if you was on something, if you was where we were, I would have engaged. But I'm not gonna go back to. I'm not about to go back to where we were 45 minutes ago. But thank y'all again for listening. I gotta get up out of here. And remember, there are no perfect messengers. Only perfect messages for those willing to pick up the game. We out.